right here we have the heart, and we're gonna start with the arteries. So the arteries are going away from the heart. So when we go up from the heart, we have the ascending aorta, and in the ascending aorta, it turns into the aortic arch. The aortic arch has three parts: 1, 2, and 3. The first branch is the right brachiocephalic artery, which breaks off into the right common carotid artery and the right subclavian artery. The right subclavian artery turns into the right axillary artery. Then the right axillary artery goes down into the right brachial artery. Then on the second, back at the aortic arch, we have the second branch, and that is the left common carotid artery. And it'll go up, and supposedly this is the external carotid artery. Then we have the third branch right here, which is, do you need me to go slower? The left subclavian artery. Then the left subclavian artery will go down towards the armpit area, which is the left axillary artery. And then the left axillary artery turns into the left brachial artery. And then that's about all we need to know about that. So then when we go down the aorta, we're going to start going into the descending thoracic aorta. And then the descending thoracic aorta turns into the descending abdominal aorta, since we are now in the abdominal region. And the abdominal region, when you get to this little three-way right here, I don't know if you can see it, yeah, the three-way right here, it's considered the celiac trunk. And within the celiac trunk, you have this little squiggle question mark right here. That is going to be the gastric artery, and that's going to go to the stomach. And then you have your splenic artery that's going to go to your spleen right here, this purple thing. And then you're going to have your common hepatic artery that's going to go to your liver. So then if we go from the celiac trunk, we're going to get to a little nub right here, and that is going to be the superior mesenteric artery, and that's going to go to the small intestine. And then we continue going down, and we're going to get to these two right here, this one and this one, and they are going to be the left and right renal artery, and they go to the kidneys. So to review, we have the celiac trunk that goes to the gastric, and then we have the the splenic artery that goes to the spleen, and the common hepatic that goes to the liver. So then we go down, we have our superior mesenteric artery that goes to our small intestine. Then we have these two, which are the left and right renal arteries that go to our kidneys. Then we get to these two, and these two small ones are our gonadal arteries, which will go to our ovaries and our testes. And then this one right here is our inferior mesenteric artery, and that'll go to the large intestine. And then just like we had the common carotid artery, we'll have the common iliac arteries because it splits into two. And so from our common iliac, we have these two right here, this one, and we'll have our right and left anterior iliac arteries, which will go to our uterus and our prostate. We then go out to our external iliac, which will lead into our femoral arteries. On this one, we continue down our femoral artery, and you can see your patella right here, and so you'll go into the popliteal artery. So now that we've gone down to our veins, we're now going to go, down our arteries, we're now going to go to our veins. So the arteries go away and the veins come in. So now we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. So right here we have this really long one, this purple vein, or blue vein, and that is the great saphenous vein. This snub or cut portion, so it'll go from here to here, is the femoral vein. So like we had the femoral artery, we have the femoral vein. Then we go up, and then we have the right and left external iliac vein, which are these two again, and we have our internal iliac veins. Then for this one, we had the common iliac vein, but now we go into, or artery, now we go into the common internal vein, and then we have the common iliac artery. And so this was the abdominal descending aorta, and now this is going to be the inferior vena cava that'll enter into the right atrium. So going up the inferior vena cava, we have these two, which are our kidneys, so our renal veins, which go into the inferior vena cava. So now that we've gone to this vein, we now have the purple veins, and the reason they're purple is because it's a mixture of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, which gives it that purple look. So right here we have the inferior mesenteric vein. No, that's okay. This is the inferior mesenteric vein, so it's deoxygenated and it's coming from the the large intestine. This is the superior mesenteric, it's all squiggly, so squiggly superior mesenteric, and that's coming from the small intestine. Then we have our splenic vein, our gastric vein, and so then the gastric, the splenic, and our two mesenterics all come into a junction that is considered the hepatic portal vein. So we have GMS, which goes into the hepatic portal vein. The hepatic portal vein then goes into the liver, which the liver cleans it all up and circulates it, and then it sends it out through the left and right hepatic veins, and which then goes into the inferior vena cava. So now that we've done the bottom portion of the veins, now we're going to go to the superior part of the veins. So then we're going to start on the right arm. On the right arm, we have this one right here, which is the cephalic vein. And then we have our basilic vein. And between the cephalic and the basilic vein, we have our median cubital vein right here. Then we go up and we have our brachial vein, and then we have our axillary vein and our right subclavian vein. From the superior vena cava, we now have the right and left brachiocephalic veins, which will drain into the superior vena cava, which will go into the right atrium. Then we have our right and left internal jugulars, which will also drain into the superior vena cava, which will go into the right atrium.